So Darwinex, which is a pretty popular company for funding traders and allowing them to create their own fund, they're very well known, launched this new program called Darwinex Zero. It's a way for you to get funding for your trading, and I know people want to get funding more and more. So I thought I would give you a quick review of their program and what they offer. First, I asked the guys at Darwinex to explain what the program is like, who it's for, and how it works. And you get to listen to that quick chat I had with them. Then we'll dive into the hardcore review of what I think and my thoughts on it. Let's dive right in.
Way of background, we are an FCA and CNMA regulated asset manager, and we have more than 100 million of assets under management from our own investors. Our top traders are already managing upwards of 20 million of capital, but we've got an issue in that they're running out of capacity. So we're sourcing investors faster than we're attracting good traders. And what we're trying to do with Darwinex Zero is provide an option for people who want to become asset managers to essentially start a track record from zero in the hope that they grow as fast as possible into being able to manage hopefully 50 million from our investors in due course. So it's essentially a recruitment tool for us.
What do you think makes this different from the other prop firms or funding programs out there? What is different from these?
So there's a number of differences. The first one is that we're not a prop firm as such. What we basically have is a lot of investors behind us. But beyond that, what we're looking for is consistent long-term results. And what I mean consistent results, I mean people who target 1 to 2% a month, and with a goal to doing that for 5 years, and as opposed to the shorter term results. And the other bit is that we know achieving 1.5 to 2% per month is incredibly hard, which is why we do not impose any kind of rules in terms of how people can trade. They can scalp, they can essentially do anything they want as long as they hopefully achieve 1.5 to 2% in the long run with as controlled drawdowns as possible.
What about traders who want to achieve more than that? Because they might feel like 1 or 2% is too little for getting paid properly for the trading.
Yeah, so we're not interested in people who look for more than that, because we know we have 30 to 40,000 traders who've gone through our books, and none of them has managed to achieve more than 15-20% per year on a sustained basis. So honestly, we know 10% a month is impossible long term.
So, what's the overview of the program? What do people have to do to get funding exactly?
So, I mean, what we offer traders is really an option to start certifying a track record that hopefully gives them the right to, or gives them access to investors in 2 to 3 years' time. That's really the idea. And the way we structured this is that we collect a small fee, a monthly fee for 38 euros, which is recurring. I guess that's different from other programs. And what users get in exchange for that is, in addition to the track record and certification, is access to a gradual ladder of capital allocations, which is designed to bring them one step closer to where they are. So the first step is hopefully land an allocation that on which they achieve enough profit such that the service is free for them. So they get, I don't know, the first 200, 300 euros that keeps them going for essentially 6 months. Thereafter, if they progress well, it is realistic to make 200, 300, 500 euros a month from the allocations, all the way up to thousands per month, by which point the track record should be good enough that it should start attracting our investor capital. And all this in the know that there are traders in the platform who are making 500, 600,000 euros a year from our investors in the same environment that they can join from zero.
So it goes with they get you capital first from the Darwinex capital, and they actually can increase that to the overall investor's capital.
Correct. So in the beginning, the trackers are not worthy of investor capital. So we essentially invest our own capital, mostly at a loss, because we know it's going to take time for people to get there. And the hope is that by giving the right incentives for people to grow step by step, they grow to an investable track record that our investors can back for real.
How fast can people sort of scale up with this capital? Can they go quickly from your capital to then investors' capital, or what kind of steps do they have to go through?
I think this is don't get me, no, this is not meant for you, but like we don't want people to join the program with this mindset. So we don't, the idea here is consistent and long term. So if people are thinking of I want to get there fast in a couple of months, this is not the program for them. What we offer here is a long-term track record where in 3-5 years time, you could be making $1 million a year, but it's going to take 3 to 5 years to get there. And promising anything shorter is unrealistic. That said, it is possible to access the first couple of €100 from very early in the process. So there will be success experiences pretty much from the first or the second month, but the expectations should be to first make enough for them to pay for the service, then make a couple of hundred a month, hopefully scale to 1,000, a couple of thousand a month, and then sort of time and talent takes care of the rest. Those are the expectations we would like to set.
Yeah, and this is why I want to talk to you also, because there's so many platforms out there looking for like these big gains, or actually kind of framing the traders to kind of look for big gains. Like I won't name any platform here, but some firms are looking for these big targets, it's 10% a month and more. And that just makes it tough for traders to, first of all, save on long term, but it just like creates a unrealistic expectation to what kind of returns you can get with this business long term.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say is the top guy in our platform, and we've seen 40,000 of them, makes $1 million a year, but he, on a consistent compound basis, he has not made more than 1.5 to 2%. And that is top of the 40,000, and it pays $1 million a year. So I don't believe in this 10% thing. I don't believe in it because I haven't seen it. And we've been 40,000, and there's been the best guys made 2.5% at 10% per month. It's just you can make it in a month, but for you to make that on a consistent basis, you need to take some risks, which essentially mean the risk of ruin is just way too high.
Totally agree there. So what do you have to do then to keep the capital? What are the rules that you cannot really kind of break if you want to keep the capital?
First of all, you don't lose the track record. What you always keep is the track record. You start trading, and every month there's going to be a track of how well you fared on every trade. Now, every month is a new opportunity, in the sense that we allocate new prop capital for that particular month, and it is lost on an automated basis after the time expires. So we allocate capital for 3 months, for 6 months, or for forever, but users should know that they start off with this month's allocation, say €100,000, and they're going to keep that allocation for the next 3 months. And then next month, again, they compete for a new allocation, say they get an additional 100,000, or at that point they would be managing 200,000, but knowing that last month's allocation will expire in 2 months, this month's allocation, it will expire in 3 months, and hopefully next month's allocation will expire in 4 months. And then on that basis, one compounds capital and loses capital on a recurring basis. But if they achieve the 1.5 to 2%, that builds into a monthly income.
So it works a lot more like a hedge fund versus a prop firm, or like a fund account you can lose the next day because the prop firm doesn't want to have the capital anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, in a hedge fund, you have to attract, keep, and grow capital with returns forever. And now doing all that is a very tall order. So the way we've designed our model is for you to get to keep capital forever. First, you keep and try to grow it consistently for 3 months. Then you keep it and try to grow it consistently for 6 months. And eventually, as you do that month by month, then you'll be in a position that investors really trust you with that. And our platform offers all in one place from the get-go to eventually get to become one of these hedge fund managers. So you start from zero and you can grow to the 1 million guy, because you will be competing on the same conditions in the same environment as the 1 million guy. And then you have someone to look up to. You know what you need to do. And that's something that it's not the platform that says it. It is the actual investors in the platform that say it. So it's a lot more credible in that way, because it is backed by reality. It's not backed by some rule book. It is reality. If there's investors who put down 20 million and are paying $1 million to a guy, that's what the market says.
That's good.
And that's what the market pays. Yeah.
I think we've got everything we need for the video here, but anything else you want to mention or add that we didn't really cover so far?
Yeah, I mean, if you know that hard and fast doesn't work, either because you just have common sense going into it, or because you've experienced it firsthand, then we are the place to be. If you're looking for fast money, then best of luck. Hopefully you find it somewhere else, but you're not going to get it here.
All right, so let's have a look at what this is all about, this Darwinex Zero program. So I have this page loaded up here. I'll give you some thoughts on this. They also gave me a sample account to kind of have a look at. Not my account. but you can see this is kind of how it works out inside. So you can see what it is like and what you can expect from it. Okay, so let's begin with a quick overview of this page here, Darwinex Zero. So the way it works out is you've got a few different stages to go through. And if you go through these stages correctly, you get the funding and you'll be able to trade with that funding. So here we have the website. Okay, very clear, very simple stuff. And the way this works is you got these 4 or actually 5 different stages here. So you've got the training, which is where they kind of, the platform learns about your trading style and what you do and what you trade. They assign you a score based on that. Then when you get to the silver stage, you get the capital from Darwinex, which is given to you based on your score. And the score, I believe what they call the rating, changes every month. So the minimum you need to have changes every month. But if you get the minimum rating for that month, you get the capital for 3 months, basically, each time. So between 25,000 to 250,000 euros. Then you've got gold. So there are some requirements to get to gold. We'll get to that very shortly. But once you get gold, which is basically when you are consistently profitable with silver, you get capital up to 500K for 6 months. Okay, so more time, more capital. And then the key part of this program, I believe the really kind of selling aspect is that there's a next level where you get capital from investors and private investors. So they are able to fund you more capital. So third-party capital, which is not Darwinex, it's other people's capital, which you can trade. So kind of like creating your own fund there, which is pretty cool. I mean, this is where like I think things are making a big difference, and where you can actually kind of start to make more money with this is when you get to that place of third capital. Not to say it's easy to get there, of course, it will take time, but you're able to get to that point. And here are traders who are able to do this. So these are, I believe, not with Darwinex Zero because this is a new program, but these guys have been able to do it on the classic Darwinex program of creating your own fund, getting investors' capital. You've got here this guy, he have 1,500 investors at 22 million or so, which is pretty big. 16 million here, same principle. And because the returns is 2015 and all that stuff. Okay, so they're not targeting people who are going to flip account, try to get rich quick with it. They're targeting people who are serious about trading and will actually trade consistently with it. Small returns, small drawdowns. That's what they look for. Okay, so now we get to the payment. Of course, there's a monthly payment for this program. And this is something that you might be turned off by a little bit because you're used to prop firms who don't have this kind of monthly payment. But we'll get to why this makes a lot of sense very soon. Then they've got as instrument, they've got stocks, which is new. Not all platforms have this. ETFs, indices, commodities, Forex. Futures are coming soon. And spot stocks, ETF, cryptocurrencies are also coming soon. Okay, so interesting there. MT4, MT5 are the platforms they use for this. MT5 will have, of course, more options, I believe. And you're going to have access to the Darwinex capital for this. Now, I want to have a quick look at this over here. This is a video that they have on their YouTube channel. I'll leave a link below for that if you want to check it out. Darwinex Zero. They've got a playlist here that explains how this works out. But as a very, very quick and brief overview of this, it's virtual capital you get at first. You have zero risk on your side, and you get 15% of the return. So you're not paid as a share of the capital, you're paid as a performance fee. Exactly the same way a fund manager would be paid. 15% is a commission you get. They pay you this directly to you on the returns you make on that capital. So it might seem like a little compared to other prop firms who give you like 80%, 75%. But keep in mind, you can go a lot higher with this kind of model here. 22 million is a lot of capital you can have. Of course, you can go beyond that, but it's a lot more than what a prop firm will give you. So keep that in mind. Is you go up in capital, but you go lower in performance fee, which is still fine in my opinion. However, if you're going to plan to have only the minimum, which is like 25K or 250K, 15% would be little. Just keep that in mind. If you aim for these bigger accounts, 500K, prop firms will still give you this, or even beyond that in the external capital. This is where things start to get really interesting for you as a trader. Now, I want to make it clear, okay, and this is the cool part of Darwinex, is that they don't give you a account with rules to follow, and if you fail to follow the rules, then you blow up the account, you lose the capital. They give you capital up to 3 months in that case, then during 6 months here. So you get the capital no matter what you do, no matter what mistakes you make, you still get the capital for a few months. Then at the end of these 6 months, depending on your performance, you move to the next step, or you stay at the same level, or you can kind of keep trading the capital that way, okay? So if you are gold, and you fail to trade consistently during that time, these 6 months, which is plenty of time, by the way, 6 months to kind of have a drawdown, come back on track. It's plenty of time. Then if you do this and you fail, you go back to silver. Okay, and that's kind of how it works. Let's have a look here at the platform quickly and see how that works out in the back end. Okay, now I've got an issue where the website is sometimes in Spanish. I'm just going to translate this for you here. Okay, here we go. Cool. So again, that's my profile. Maybe that's why it's in Spanish. You can see here the performance you have on your dashboard. Then I want to have a look at this area here, which is Darwin IA. So you can see here the other traders in the Darwinex program that are funded. So you can see the other traders here in the Darwinex Zero program that are funded. So, and you can see their score. This guy here has 93.49 of score, 250K. You can see the person name here and everything of the sort. That actually their username. Again, this is a new program, so it's going to be different. But these are the top 3. So 85 score in that case. Now, if you go back down more and more, you see the other people in this program. Okay, so here we've got this one, 30,000, a score of 43. And you can see this is a graph of the scores of people, the ratings in the program entirely. So this one is in this category here, the red one. Of course, you've got more, you've got less, all that stuff. But this is kind of what you can expect here. So still, like, not a top score, but still a pretty good kind of allocation here of 40 or 30,000, which is not bad. You can see here the allocation, how much they got this person per month. You can see what position they're in and everything of the sort. So it's kind of like a cool thing to do. So this is for silver. Then gold is not live yet apparently, but it should be when people are getting funded eventually. Okay, so let's look at these rules here with the Darwinex funding program. So a couple of things. Most of it is going to be pretty explanatory, but Darwin A is a monthly funding program, okay? Up to 2.5 million euros to the top 40 in the Darwin. The allocation is for 3 consecutive months, unless the stage you are in is different. So you can have up to 6 months or up to 3 months. Then 50% success fee on the investor's earning based from the capital you have. Got a classification based on the level you're at and based on your score. Update, the ranking is going to be updated every hour. The rating is going to be calculated based on the returns of the month on the Darwin IA edition. The returns of the 5 previous months and the maximum drawdowns and bull period together are going to be used for that too. So what you need to participate, you need to complete the training phase, which is the first phase when the platform learns about your trading style and your stats. Then you'll be able to participate in silver, where you actually get the funding between 25,000 and 215,000 euros. And you're required to have a correlation of less than 85, so 0.85, with the other Darwin account. So you cannot trade the same thing as other people trade. If you have algos, make sure you customize the setting for your own kind of trading, because if they're similar to other people, then that's not going to work well. Very important to understand here. So they say here, if you have a rating of above 75, you'll receive an assignment. Now, what we've seen in the past, that even below that, you can still get money, even if you have less. I'm going to explain to you what kind of capital you can get from this program here. So that's pretty interesting. Now, I do want to kind of give yourself a quick review here of these guidelines here, which are again in Spanish. Let me just translate this again. Here we go. It seems that the rating is calculated every time the same, but that the actual rating required to get capital will change. Okay, so this is going to be based on this. So what's the criteria to gain some? What is the criteria to participate in silver and gold? Silver, you need to, of course, be a paid member, active subscription, and have a correlation of less than 0.85 to other traders in the program. Then for gold, it's where you have a bit more things required. So you need at least 12 months of history, which is quite long for a funding program, but that's still fun. I mean, some are looking for 6 months, 12 months. Of course, this is more than platforms would require, for sure. And then you need to meet these criteria below. So return in last year, or since you opened the account, of at least 20%, and return over drawdown of 2.5. So that's a good measure for funded accounts. And for people who want to trade for funds, return in the last 2 years, 25%, and 2.5 of return over drawdown. And these are all the same. Okay, so 3 years, 30%, 4 years, 35%, 5 years, 40%. So you can see how this is a bit more selective than platforms. Of course, you don't have just to pay the fee, then you get funding and pass the evaluation. It's more like you have to actually get good stats and a good number. But eventually the amounts can get a lot higher than other platforms. Okay, so here they say a minimum rating will be established each month to receive capital. So it will change each month what the minimum rating is to get the capital. If you match this minimum rating, then you receive the assignment of capital. That's for silver. For gold, the ranking depends on the return you make each month. Unlike silver, there's no minimum rating that guarantees an assignment. And the assignment will depend exclusively on the final position in the ranking. So they don't have a minimum of ranking you need to get the capital. It's based on if you're in the top however number of people in this program. The number of allocation will change depending on the number of Darwins participating in the Darwin AA Gold. So it will change. Like you can see, it's not a fixed thing where you get this amount of capital for sure by this date, but you have a lot more upside with this. And yeah, overall, it's a good program. My thoughts on this are fairly simple. I believe it's a very good program. I believe you can get a lot out of this. It's something where if you are a good trader, you have good stats, you can definitely get good performance on and you can get funding on. Now, again, if you're someone who aims for like the 25K, 250K, you're probably better off with prop firms for sure. Prop firms will give you a bigger account size eventually. Although the fee here is lower because you pay a monthly fee, you're going to have to keep paying that fee until you want the capital to trade with. The duration of the funding is longer. Like you have a 3-month compared to a prop firm where the account can be cut off in 1 day if you would not follow the rules. But you also get a much lower profit share, or what they call performance fee, with Darwinex Zero. So I still think it's worth it for people who want to create their own fund, kind of have their own capital for longer, and want to have bigger amounts of capital from private investors. If you want to go to that kind of last stage in the program, right over here, then this is definitely worth it. Okay, that's going to make a big difference there. So any question on this, you can comment below. If you want to get a discount on the Darwinex program, I'll leave a link below if you want to sign up for this Darwinex Zero program. There'll also be included a discount code below, so you can use that code to get some more savings if you decide to join them and start trading with them. The discount code might be valid for only a period of time, so make sure you do it now if you want to join them. And I'll have some more details on that in the description below. Give a like that video today if you liked it. Make sure you comment below and let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear what you think of this program, if it's good or bad. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And make sure you're subscribed. I post videos like this 3 times a week. And I'll catch you back here in the next video pretty soon. Ciao.